Hey everybody, it is Two Legs. It is the live edition of Two Legs. It's a little bit late, but we're here. And sorry
We're
for making you guys wait for a while, but we're here and it is, what is it? It is
volume
back to
nine,
the
baby. Yeah, that's
volume
right.
9,
That's right.
ranking the track. And there he is, Andy, with the cassette version. This is the 93 um, McCartney collection version. And It's
Yeah.
it's it's good to be back. It's Wednesday night. Andy, how you doing, my friend?
Good, man. I'm hanging in there. New year and rolling
Yeah.
on and feeling well and staying busy. A little cold here in the Northeast, but
Uh,
happy to be
Good.
back. Sorry we're a little late tonight, but thank you for hanging in there and tuning in if you do. And I'm doing well. How are you?
Not bad, not bad. It's kind of chilly over here too, but we're not here to
What's
talk
that
about
like?
the weather.
What's that like 80 degrees?
Oh, 60s.
Oh, Joe chimes in. I'm falling asleep here.
Hey.
Sorry, Joe. We told you we
Yeah,
can't.
sorry, Joe.
Sorry,
Joe's gonna
Joe.
be up and Joe's off tomorrow, so he'll be fine.
You'll be fine, Joe. You'll be fine. Hudson, so glad to see you guys here. Ha ha ha. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Very good.
Yeah, very this one was a tough one to rank for me in certain spots. I don't know about you.
Really? Yeah, no, the top half was definitely easier than the second half or the bottom half for sure.
I think we're gonna be very different again, but that's okay.
Yeah, no, that's great. I hope so because after last week to see how diverse the rankings were with everybody that posted on our YouTube channel or on our Facebook page, it was really cool to see. So everybody, if you're watching, please, if you're watching and you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. That'll help us out a lot. We appreciate y'all coming in, checking us out, and make sure you click on that bell as well, and then that will let you know when we are live.
Yeah.
Because we are just trying to stick to Wednesdays, but you never know. It might have to be later every once in a while,
You might
or sometimes it might be earlier, or it might be earlier. So when you click on that bell, you'll get notified for when we are indeed live and when a new show pops up. So
I forgot about how one of the cooler things about the original 89 pressing it was the CD art on the original Back to the Egg. The blue.
yeah, look at that. That's pretty cool.
Solid blue throughout. If you had the first pressing on Capitol on EMI, it was all blue.
Right,
And God, this was
right.
a hard sucker to come by back in the day. Had to go to Sam Goody to find this thing, I think, once upon a time. Or the Wiz.
um yeah, well, Andy, before we get started, I want to give a couple shout outs to
Please, please.
a few Facebook friends who are kind enough to allow us to post whenever we have new shows. They allow us to post them on their pages. So first, I want to say hi to John Bazzini. John he runs the Beatles in Print Together and Solo page on Facebook. So please check that out. Again, that's the Beatles in Print Together and Solo. Whenever we have an author on the show, John's nice enough to let me promote the show there because he's a big fan of whenever we have authors on the show. So thank you for that. So again, that's Beatles in Print Together and Solo. Check it out and please
Great
like the
page.
page.
Awesome page.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really cool because whenever there's a new book coming out, he usually posts it right away.
The place to
So
go
to
to.
inform
Yeah.
it. Yeah, exactly. To inform everybody about new books coming out in the future. So again, check that out. Beatles in Print Together and Solo. I also want to give my friend Harry Benson a shout out. He runs the Paul McCartney and Wings Fan Appreciation Group. Again, every week I post our episodes on his page, and he has no problem with that. So we want to give a shout out and a hi to Harry, and thank you very much for letting us do that. And then obviously our kid Ethan Alexanian, who does all these great thumbnails
Oh,
for the show. All the ranking of the tracks, just doing a great job for us. He's the host of Fans on the Run, so that's on YouTube as well. So type in Fans on the Run, and you should see Ethan's name there. And please subscribe to his channel. I mean, lots of great people on the show, and we've both been on his show. He just had Chip Maniger on there. He had Lawrence Juber on there recently, so a lot of good stuff there. But
yeah. So our friend Susan's on. Hi, Susan. Good evening.
hey, Susan.
You're up late, Susan. Thank you for the late night. This is late night television, right? Well, listen,
Right. Yes.
we're better than any of that stuff
Yeah. Yeah.
anyway.
Right. Get a cup of coffee. Sit back and
Sit
relax.
back and relax. And yeah. Joe says this is the first new album he bought with his own hard-earned cash. Well,
Right.
1979, he was probably a wee teenager, I would guess by then. Late
So
70s.
that's got sentimental nostalgia values to him. That's completely understandable. Let It Be, the album has a special place in my heart because that was the very first Beatles album that I bought with my own money.
Hard-earned cash.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
exactly.
So, yeah,
Yep.
any of those albums are always going to have sentimental value when you associate
Absolutely.
with them.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I mean it's such an interesting, period. And I mean, it was one lineup, one album, and it was done. And it's
Right.
it's getting to interview Lawrence Juber to talk about it was fantastic.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe one day we'll get Steve Holly. So
Yeah, and then a big hit that wasn't even on the album either. So
no, and a B-side, which imagine if those two tracks were on this album. We can play
Right.
that. We can play that game when we're done if you want.
Exactly right.
Susan said she's retired, so time has no meaning to her. God bless you.
Ah, very good. So she can sleep in tomorrow.
Yeah, Joe says the honeymooners. And now for the late, late, late show.
Joe is a huge honeymooners fan.
Oh, I know. We've talked.
Yeah.
Jacob says, Jacob Blair says, Back to the Egg for him is better than Men on the Run. And sweet.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's some really cool, great tracks on here. So, I can see why people would think that. Absolutely.
Yeah. Maca Film says Back to the Egg lineup is his favorite Wings lineup.
No kidding. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's one album and a one short-lived tour of the
done.
But one little short-lived tour of the UK, which was professionally recorded, thank God. And it's this nice microcosm in time there. And who knows what 1980 would have been if there was no arrest,
Yeah. I mean, as Lawrence Juber said, I mean, if they were to do a U.S. tour in 1980, I mean, it would have been on the heels of a number one.
On the heels of a number one song, but
coming up.
A number one solo song. So it's hard to build that as a Wings song.
But does McCartney 2 come out? Does McCartney 2 come out though if the Japanese bus doesn't happen and they tour America? I don't know.
I don't know about that. I don't know. I think if the bus doesn't happen, I don't think the album comes out.
No, why would it? Because I mean, they were playing coming up right in live right in '79.
79 it was on the '79 UK tour. It was played,
exactly.
So
yeah, so it's a tough call, absolutely tough call.
But we know
it's interesting because we know they were working on new songs too in 1980. I mean, we know that George Martin was brought in to produce the record. But then it was said then that it was just going to be a McCartney album. So
right. I mean, and in Wings, I mean, even still into 81, still existed a little bit until Wings. I think officially April of 81 is when they officially were disbanded.
Yeah.
Officially.
So I don't buy that whole Paul theory that he wanted the bust to happen to break up Wings. I don't buy that at all.
That's more Paul and the historical revisionism. Even though we love him, but I don't think he subconsciously wanted to get busted. I don't think so. But it would have been nice. I mean, I know it would have been another lineup of Wings to go out and tour. And by that time, by '79, they're 9 years into Wings, and it's a young family, and he probably was like, okay, I'm done for a while.
Right.
But it would have been nice,
but we know
this lineup flourish for a little bit longer.
Absolutely. I mean, another album from this lineup, I think would have been exceptional. I mean, in another tour, we know Denny loved to tour. I mean, that's what he wanted. He wanted to get out there and tour. And then once there was no place to tour, I mean, with that bust, I mean, then what's the point of Denny being a part of? I mean, we know he helped with the songs on Tug of War, but right. I mean, if they're not touring, he just felt, why stick around then?
Yeah, because I mean, if you're not a Beatle, and you're the average musician, touring is your livelihood.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hey, Rob, we We got Robert Barnes. Back to the Egg is his favorite Wings album. Nice, nice.
Excellent,
A lot of
excellent.
nice comments. Back to the Egg is a perennial favorite here from a lot of people. That's cool.
And it is, and you know what? I think when we do get that archive release, I think it's
Mm.
again it's gonna be considered, a great McCartney record. I think this is a lot. Really, I think this album gets overlooked a lot from McCartney faithful. I think a lot of people should go back and listen to this record, and I think they're gonna find it that to be a really strong effort.
The only criticism I have to say on with this album as a whole is I think Paul was really, he didn't like the reviews to London Town and that whole kind of soft, mellow approach that he had with that. So he
Right,
really was going to try to ride the punk wave and kind of catch lightning in a bottle and say, okay, you know what? I'm really a
right,
rocker. And again, okay, so you got like Spin It On, Old Siam Sir, and all that kind of these songs with a
right,
harder
right,
edge to say, you know what? I am a rocker. And it's like, don't worry about what those idiots say. Just be Paul McCartney. Don't worry about what people say. If
right,
you want to be mellow and do ballads and 40s style stuff like Baby's World, don't worry if they don't think you're hard rocking up. I think there's a little bit of that in this album because he was so worried about. And listen, London Town was a #2 album in America. I
yeah,
can't remember off the
exactly.
top of my head what it went to America in the UK, but that was a very successful album. And to think, well, I have to go now change my whole direction because people think I'm a softie because they did a very mellow, low key album. I got to do this hard edge, new lineup. Punk is
Right.
now the rave. And I mean, punk really became big in 76, 77. So now by 79, it's the forefront and how he's going to try to ride those coattails. And I think a little bit of
Right.
that creeps into this album.
Right, and then you bring in someone like Chris Thomas, who worked with the Sex Pistols, has that ability to help Paul, get that edge back, if you want to call it that. But I mean, I don't think that it's fine. Paul can do whatever the hell he wants. If he wants to do a soft record, do a soft record. I mean, it's still I still consider London Town a really good record.
Yeah. I just, I,
I
he,
know a lot of people do.
Right, but he's too reactionary. Oh, they thought I was too soft, so now I'm going to do some hard rockers. Screw that. Do what you want. I
Right.
mean, the
Well,
songs.
you know what? Again with London Town, I mean, once that gets released on the archive edition, that's going to get reevaluated favorably again too, like all these albums. I
This
really
when
believe
this
that.
yeah when this and the Wings 71 to 73 box set will be the crown jewels in the entire archive
Yeah,
series, bar
yeah.
none of all the releases. The early Wings and the late Wings will be the cornerstone releases of this entire
Oh,
campaign,
it'll
in
be a
my
great
opinion.
bookend. It'll be a great bookend. Great bookends for that whole campaign. Yeah,
They really
absolutely.
will. So.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So let's talk about let's rank Back to the
Ranking
Egg.
them, we're
And
gonna rank Back to the Eggs 14 tracks, no bonus tracks, no anything, just the
right.
standard album that you bought in 1979, Joe Mayo, of 14 tracks, no bonus tracks. Really a throwback to an old Beatles album, really. 7 tracks on one side and 7 on another, which is
Right.
very even.
Right.
Um,
Well, I mean, you got a couple that are like just under 2 minutes, so I mean, it makes sense that you got that you can fit 7 on both sides. So,
yeah. Fork again. It wasn't Back to the Egg released on a different record label in the States.
Columbia.
My Back to the Egg CD remaster of 93 has Sony imprinted on the plastic. Okay, so in America, he was in 79, he signed a new deal with Columbia
Columbia.
Records.
Right.
So if you had this album, was the first album Columbia, and on CD, the 93, which is what Tom
Yeah.
showed you before,
Right.
it probably, if he says Sony on the plastic, well, it was still EMI, I think. Let's have a quick look here. No, yeah, MPL.
It says Polyphone here in the
EMI.
back of
Yeah, this is an
yeah.
EMI release. So
Yeah.
I don't think it was anything Sony. Yeah, so it was an original one, but yeah, a traditional album, 14 tracks on each side. Really a bit of a he was going for a concept album, and Tom and I will talk about this as we kind of go through the tracks. There's songs that link that harken back to other songs. So he was kind of going for a concept album, or as he said in the 86 special, when he was asked about it, a bombcept album. This is what he called it. The interviewer asked him for the Paul McCartney special, "Oh, your last Wings album was Back to the Egg, a concept album." He goes, "Oh yeah, bombcept." But it went to the album got to number 8, which by
Right.
anybody else's standards is awesome. But for Paul McCartney, it was not.
Yeah, you got a lot of competition throughout the 70s. And yeah, I mean, 8 is bad for McCartney, but I mean, it's still top 10. Still top 10.
what's top 10 record? I mean, but
Right.
the Wings were so big, as you've pointed out before in the past, that run of number one albums. So by the end of the late 70s, to be even London Town going to number 2, and then this going number 8, that's for Guy McCartney, that's a big drop off, I guess.
And he's still getting top 5 singles as well. Good Night Tonight, I believe, was top 5. So
yes, Joe Mayo, Good Night Tonight should have been on the album. Which Joe just said.
I mean, we know Lawrence Juber has said in the past that he felt that it should be on the album. It definitely would have helped the album sell more. It probably would have went top 5 if Good Night Tonight was on Back to the Egg.
Yeah, it really would. It would have. I mean, it got to number 8 as it is. It would have definitely been in top 5 easily.
But I think it was really cool that that Paul carried that tradition like they did with the Beatles to give us non-album singles.
That he was very true to that. I mean, you had a couple of times where he would kind of deviate and include that, but that was one where he was like, okay, I've got a strong song, I've got a good B-side, I'm going to go back to my, and of course, and he recorded it at Replica Studio, which was, at that basement studio there in Soho Square, which if you've never been, go there and check it out. It's awesome. I've been there. But one album, so a lot of throwbacks to the early Beatle days on this album. 14 tracks, a single that's associated with the album but not on the album.
On the album, yep.
As you mentioned, the Chris Thomas connection.
Chris Thomas.
So a lot of Beatles tradition in this record, which is pretty cool. I mean, even though it didn't, people look at it now and they're like, back to the what, So, all right. So I'll kick it off. Number 14 for me, and I hope you may have the same one. Number 14 for me, just for obvious reasons, is the opener Reception.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe that's not 14 for you.
No, it's not.
This is why we do this. This is good. Reception for me is number 14, and it's just because it's the album opener, and I like it. But as a song, it's there's some good funky bass playing on it, but you hear, lots of other voices on there, like turning into a transistor radio. So it's not Paul or Wayne singing. So it's easily the less like track on the album. Reception for me. 14 for you, Thomas.
All right, 14 for me. Obviously, you just said, Paul not singing. Well, I mean, 14 for me is unfortunately the broadcast.
You and Joe Mayo in sync.
Look, it's cool. It's cool on the album, but again, it's not Paul. That's why I put it on the bottom of my list.
Okay, I'll hold my comment.
All right.
So you had broadcast at 14.
Broadcast at 14, yes.
Okay, number 13 for me. To You.
Oh wow.
I just could never get into that song. Again, this is me. This is Paul kind of just trying to be right. It just sounds too forced. Well, if the same thing happened to me, I'm like, I'm just not into it. I'm not into it. I'm not. Okay. I was never into it.
Fair enough.
If it happened to you. No, skip, gone.
Oh wow, yeah, we're gonna be really different.
This one is gonna be. This one might be our most different one yet. It really might be.
It could. 13 for me. We're Open Tonight. Again, it's just so easy. I mean, and it kind of is reminiscent to Venus and Mars a little bit, because then it goes into a rocker, kind of like Venus and Mars did the rock show in a way. I just feel like it's just Paul. I don't really care for his singing on this one. I really just don't care for. It's just so plain. It's just we're open tonight. I mean, it's just. It doesn't do anything for me.
Nice acoustic.
I don't. Yeah, and I don't like how it sets up. What is it? Spinning on. I just don't like how it opens it. I'm really surprised that there's not the We're Open Tonight and then the slash Spinning On, kind of like After the Ball and Million Miles,
like a medley. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Interesting.
It does. Those two do for me have that Venus and Mars rock show feel to it.
They do. Very true. Very true. Yeah. Catching a couple comments.
Plus, it's under 2 minutes. I mean, it's only a minute 6. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm in at 25.
Yeah. Joe says To You for him is the weakest rocker on there
Mm.
as well. Susan says either qualify as lowest for me. To You also. Okay, so
Wow. Wow.
you're gonna have that higher. I know
Oh,
that.
I am.
Now, my number 12, I think, is gonna upset very few people. Very, very, very few people here. My co-host, our friend Dylan Seavey, because he messaged us today that he hopes that this
Yeah.
track gets a lot of love. I'm not giving it a lot of love because I can't stand this song.
Oh,
I
wow.
can't
Okay.
stand it. And number 12 for me is Again and Again and Again and Again. Too wordy of a title,
Long,
right?
long, long.
Long, long, long. I'm sorry. It's a nice song, but it's too repetitive. And maybe if it was buried on the second half of the album, I wouldn't have ranked it so low. But
Mm.
it's like track 5. Like, no, 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 I'm not listening to Again and Again and Again. Skip, told old Siam, sir. Nice playing, nice kind of bridge there. Winter time is a coming out. I
Mm.
like that. I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I like that, but that's about it. You know, that song. And then he
Okay.
played it live too. Now, I know you're definitely going to have that higher. Dylan,
Yeah.
if you're watching, I don't think you are. My apologies to our musical director because I know he loves this song. But I can't do that song. I cannot do Again
Okay.
and Again and Again and Again and Again and Again and Again and Again. Gone.
And again. Okay. Fair enough.
Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, my 12 is the album opener, Reception. It's a nice little instrumental. I think it sets up the, getting closer fine, but again, I mean, there's no singing on it. I mean, again, I'm not the really biggest instrumental fan.
We
So,
just did an episode on them.
yeah, we did. I think it's one of the weaker instrumentals out there, in the McCartney catalog.
Yeah.
Myself, exception. Yeah,
Yeah,
I really don't find it very interesting at all.
well, if you've read, the album was for a minute going to be called We're Open Tonight. And if that had
Mhm.
been the opener, that Venus and Mars link, what you were
Yeah,
talking about, would have really
yeah,
kind of been very close to that. Maybe, maybe if it's the opens the album,
right.
maybe it's a little different.
Yeah, absolutely. I think. I mean, again, like you with Again and Again and Again. If Reception was kind of like buried, in within the tracks, maybe I could appreciate a little bit more. But I really don't care for it as an opener.
As an opener.
Um,
It's tough because you're
and
listening to a McCartney album and you're like, wait, what the hell am I listening to? I could
right.
understand that.
And then I think this would have been the first time you opened with an instrumental on an
Yes.
album. Flash forward 40 years to McCartney 3,
Right.
and he's opening with an instrumental, which I think is just 10 times better than
Well,
this.
that's no question.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
no question to that.
Mm.
I got a fan with Susan. She has Again and Again and Again in her bottom of the half also. Win. Thank you, Susan. Okay. Number 11
Yes.
for me is, we had mentioned it earlier, Spinning On.
Wow.
Spinning On, number 11. Can't do it. Yeah, there's been very different. We're gonna have very different lists here. I know it, but that's good. That's
right.
Good. Joe says at the time, Rolling Stone said Again and Again was the only track worth.
Yes.
Well, Rolling Stone is about worth this much. So Rolling Stone is worth. Rolling Stone is worth about as much as this Post-it note where I have my track ranked. That's how much I think of Rolling Stone then or now. Thanks a lot, Jan, you clown. Tom Brennan says, "Boo again, boo to the Again and Again and Again haters." He's ranked it high. Sorry, Tom.
Don't worry, Tom. I got your back, buddy.
Well, we knew that. We knew that. You told me months ago how much you love Again and Again and Again and Again. Yeah. But Spinning On, I like it. To me, it's just Paul copping out to the punk movement, and that's not him at his best. It's like good, good video, good rocker. Fun fact: if you've ever seen that '87 appearance on the Wogan show, promoting all the best, the band actually goes into a little quick riff of Spinning On for about 20 seconds before they play the next song.
Right.
It's pretty cool to check. If you haven't seen it, it's on YouTube. Good song, lots of lyrics, too wordy. No, hair and curlers. No. Again, not a fan. Not a fan.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. 11, the other instrumental, Rockestar theme.
You didn't like this one. I knew that.
I've never liked it. I can't stand the riff. It's the drumming is bland. I mean, you've got all of these mega power, heavyweight people on this track, and to me, it just doesn't work. I mean, it's cool. Won the Grammy, the first ever Grammy for rock instrumental or instrumental, whatever.
Even like, see, such as a McCartney fan as you don't like that chord progression of the.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. No.
Joe disagrees with you.
That's fine.
Joe, big win for you and me.
But anyways,
what is it? Just too pedestrian for you?
Yeah, it's just too bland. I mean, there's nothing flashy about it. I mean, it's
you're gonna put Riding into Jaipur ahead of Rockestra theme.
You're goddamn right.
Get the frig out of here.
You are right. Listen,
Riding into Jaipur.
It's Let Me Roll It all over again. It's just built around the same damn thing over and over and over again.
Please, it's not like Let Me Roll It. It's 5.5 minutes. Rockestra theme is 2.5 minutes.
I get it. It's a shorter version. It's just the same thing over and over and over again and again and again.
See, repetitive.
Yes.
It is repetitive. It's a little bit lazy. It's just, hey, okay, all right. I knew you weren't keen on that one though. That was your number. That was my
number 11. What? Top 10, buddy.
We're into the top 10. We are into the top 10. Yes. Let's catch up on some comments here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Joe calls you Mr. Crean or Crore.
Hey, 10 times more interesting than Rockestra theme.
Get the hell out of here with that too. Way. And the panting breathing. Please. With all these guys.
Love it.
No. Paul going big wall of sound with Rockestra. Yeah, of course. Susan she likes Spinning On. She had it as her number 7.
Okay.
Tom Brennan, it has Old Siam Hers. His number 11, Boring Rock with Weird Lyrics. Yeah. Okay. All right, we're into the top 10. The top 10 for me is The Broadcast is my number 10.
All right.
I like that track. I like it. It's David Bowie, rest in peace, thought that song should have been a single off the album. He liked it that much. I like it because it's different. It has those chords that open up in a minor chord. You hear these guys reciting some play or book.
Right.
We've got a chance and we'll take it. We may win, we will lose. I like the piano in that song. I like the chord progression in it. I like the strings in it. It just kind of lends itself to the theme of the overall album, which he was going for here with the reception and the broadcast and everything else.
Yep.
So it's number 10 for me. I like The Broadcast. I do.
Cool. Okay.
The Broadcast isn't even a song. Well, right. The last time I checked, Joe, it's track 12 on the album, so I think it's a song. Thanks. Bye.
It's his Revolution number 9, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Number 10 for you.
Number 10 for me is So Glad to See You.
Rockestra Part 2.
Yeah, Rockestra Part 2. It's good. I love the harmonizing of So Glad to See You. I think I really dig that a lot. It's really cool. Just unfortunately the other 9 tracks I like better than this one, but I have no problem with this track whatsoever. I mean, I think it's 10 times more interesting than Rockestra theme. But
you like it better.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The singing on this one is great. Musically it's okay, but the harmonizing, with the So Glad, right, to see, that part I love. I absolutely adore that part.
Right. And you get the little coda of We Open Tonight at the end.
Yes,
and that's lending itself to the thematic part of the whole album. You're hearing
he's done often. I mean, he's
right, which is why this album really I think deserves to be looked at, because he's trying to go for a concept here. You hear that we're open tonight at the end of it, which is cool. Yeah, we're open tonight. Yeah, exactly. Like Gagliano just said. Exactly. Yeah. So that was your number 10.
Number 10, yes.
Number 9 for me, as Tom already talked about before, Rockestra theme.
Okay.
We just did a show on instrumentals. I had that in my top 5, I believe. So Joe says, remember too, Rockestra theme is a theme. Yes, it is a theme. It's my number 9. I've always enjoyed it. I know musically it's not really too adventurous. Yes, Tom, it is repetitive. And it's got that weird, why haven't I had any dinner? Well,
yeah,
I don't know, which doesn't really make any sense. I don't care. I like how it sounds. I've always liked how it sounds. And again, we were listening to before that. If you listen to the piano tape bootleg from '74, he's got that back as far as '74 working it out.
Yep.
Really nice promotional video for Rockestra theme 2, where you could see him playing the piano and then all the musicians at Replica Studio. I think that was done. Or was that done at EMI? I can't remember. It might have been done at Replica or EMI. It might have been done at EMI. Actually, I think it was done in EMI. Just for the history alone of that song, even though it's not a great song,
right,
it really deserves a higher ranking in the McCartney canon of solo music. Again, as you mentioned, it won a Grammy.
Yeah,
it won a Grammy. So that, how many McCartney solo songs won Grammys?
Right.
Let me ask you, how many? How many?
Not many.
I'll hang up and listen.
Yeah,
how many?
You go ahead and hang up and hold your breath too.
How many?
No, not a lot. No.
So musically it is what it is, but it has to be recognized for that.
Right. No, I get it. I get it.
Number 9.
I mean, there's parts of it that I do like. It's just that musically it just does nothing.
Does nothing for you.
Yeah. Number 9. For me, After the Ball in A Million Miles.
Whoa, I thought that would be higher for you.
Well, of the two that are like that, I just think the other one is better. This one
really with the vocals on this song.
Yeah, I do like. Well, here's the thing. I like After the Ball part. The Million Miles part, not so much. Where you kind of like, okay, maybe you should just left After the Ball alone and not really necessarily added
Million Mile. Okay,
yeah, exactly. See,
okay,
that's
Paul,
why I kind of.
I understand now. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, that's why I put it where it is, because After the Ball is great, but then Million Miles kind of drags it down a little bit.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, Paul, we get it. How many million miles do they? Yeah. Okay, we got it. We get it.
Yeah. See, and that's the thing. This track was just under 4 minutes. It could have been a great 3-minute track if it was just After the Ball.
Just After the Ball. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. True. We weakened a little bit. I'll agree with that. Absolutely. Good observation, partner. Right. Number 8 for me.
Yes.
Old Siam, Sir.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I kind of agree with one of our previous comments that lyrically it's a little bit all over the place. It's a little bit, but it's got such a good riff on it. Very few McCartney songs open up like that with a straight riff like that. Wah, 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 wah.
Yeah.
And then I've just always liked it. It's lyrically it's a little bit of a mishmash, but the playing on it is so good.
Yeah, that's the bit for me that I really enjoy.
Wow, really kind of getting heavy there.
Yeah.
On that track, lyrically mishmash, but it's one of the strongest songs musically that this version of Wings and any version of Wings did really. Old Joe says Old Siamster might be his number 1. Whoa.
Wow.
Heavy praise indeed.
That's crazy. Wow, absolutely. So my number 8 is this might be where we're the same for the only time we're the same. My old number 8 is Old Siamster.
Okay, we are in sync.
For the first time here for this show here, we're in sync. The riff for the first time I heard the song, I'm going, oh no, this is gonna be Let Me Roll It, where they just continue that same riff over and over and over again. But like you said, that part blows me away. I love that.
When you hear that change, you're like,
yes.
You're like, whoa. Okay, this is a little different now. Yeah. We had a really awesome we got a great comment here from Vivian, one of our longtime watchers. She says, Back to the Egg is like Paul's Abbey Road to me in that I always try to listen to the whole album. It's more than the sum of its parts. That's a great comment right there.
Nice. Very cool.
There is a lot of element to that in terms of the other medleys, After the Ball, Million Miles, Winter Road,
right. Yeah.
Broadcast, Reception. the we open the you know the get into the we're open tonight, Coda. Lots of elements of that Abbey Road stuff. Awesome. That's a great observation, Vivian.
Cool,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. Lyrically, I mean, it is a little silly, but I like silliness with my rockers from time to time.
Of course.
Think like Junior's Farm. I mean, that's got some silly lyrics as well, but it's probably his best rocker. Period.
Yeah. Tom Brennan had Spinning On at 8. Maca Films 66 said Lawrence Juber thought Steve Holley should have gotten a writing credit on Old Siam Sir.
Oh, probably for his great drumming, maybe.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that would have been interesting. Good old Steve Holley.
Yeah.
To do that. Okay, number 7 for me. Tom mentioned this a few songs ago. So Glad to See You Here. Love that track. Yeah. Again, the second of the Rockestra, lineup of the songs. Really ties into the whole concept of the album, as we talked about. Great singing on it throughout the whole thing. A lot of energy, and So Glad to See You Here. Could have been maybe even a B-side or a single, perhaps. Good deep cut. Definitely out of the rockers on this album, definitely one of the better rockers for me. Eons better than Spin It On or To You for me.
Okay, fair enough.
But I've always liked So Glad to See You Here. And again, sequenced towards the end of the album. So it's like, I think it was 13, I think.
We're talking about what's
13.
13, yeah.
So Good to See You. Yeah, so it's 13. Yeah.
Yep.
That was my number.
Just about close it.
Just about closing out. You're up today. You're up number 7 for you, sir.
All right. My 7 is the song that comes right after that, Baby's Request. This is one of my favorites of Paul's so-called granny songs.
Granny music.
Yeah, right. I dig Lawrence Schubert's playing at the beginning. I love that. Love that part. Paul sings these songs so well, in my opinion. It's just really cool, and his vocals are just so smooth throughout this track, and it's
corny video though.
Yeah, true.
We're gonna be at an army base in army rags, walking around.
Base.
Come on.
Back in World War II, I think I like this one better than
this one.
You gave me the answer, actually.
Oh, you like this better than you gave me the answer?
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Interesting.
And even maybe even what's the other one from the end of Venus and Mars? Two Lonely Old People.
Treat her gently, lonely old people.
Yeah, Treat Her Gently. Yeah.
It was nice that he revisited it for this, though.
Absolutely, I love that he revisited.
And that really, the whole Kisses on the Bottom revisiting Baby's Request is really cool, and that'll be a future episode.
Future episode, probably our Valentine Day show, huh?
Yeah. Christian Dahl, you gave me the answer. It's his best granny song. I agree with that, which we did when we did Venus and Mars. Wow. I had that ranked up very high. Yeah. I'm a sucker for You Gave Me the Answer. I could listen to it from sun up to sundown.
Okay.
Catch up on comments here.
Yeah, go for it.
Paul does not love Back to the Egg. The videos Baby Request, Arrow Through Me, Old Siam Sir, and again are not on his official YouTube playlist. It's on fan channels. Interesting why those videos aren't available on his own channel. Well, we got him on the McCartney years.
He owns that stuff.
Right.
He owns it.
Right. We got it officially released. So
the only one that was released on the Wingspan, not the Wingspan, but the McCartney years is Baby's Request. That's the only one that's on that DVD set.
You're right.
And Good Night Tonight.
Right, but Arrow Through Me,
Arrow Through Me, Spin It On, Getting Closer.
Well, you had that Back to the Egg. You had the Back to the Egg TV special where all these videos were on.
Right. Well, originally. I'm saying we only got 2 videos
officially.
On that. Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
Tom Brennan says Back to the Egg is more like Sgt. Pepper than Abbey Road, just sequenced differently, with Reception being an opener like Pepper, and We're Open Tonight having a reprise before the final song. Very true. Very true. Susan, Baby's Request is my favorite on this album. Do I have to hide now? No, Susan.
No.
You don't have to hide.
No virtual tomatoes being thrown at you.
Never. Yeah, it's a great song. It's a really Baby's Request. So you had that as 7?
Yeah.
Very good ranking. Number 6 for me. We're open tonight. I have it ranked much higher than Tom.
Yeah, yeah.
Just because I like the Venus and Mars quality of that song,
Mm,
and again, sequenced where it is in the album. To me, it's like the album could have been called "We're Open Tonight" because it's where it really is.
right.
It sets the mood for the rest of the record. It's short. It's nothing. It's nothing musically great. It's very short, as Tom said, but I like it because it's linked later in the album. You know, it's a little acoustic thing. We're open tonight for fun. You
Right.
know, get all your friends come on, and you know, it's really setting the mood for the whole record, and that's why, and that's what this record is to me. So that's why I have it ranked 6.
Gotcha. Okay. 6 for me is again and again and again and again.
Uh,
This one, yeah. Now this one, I really do enjoy. I mean, this is, I think, is one of Denny's better vocals. You know, like you said, you like that part where it says "the winter time is here." You know, I dig that too. But I really dig the whole "you don't want to be the little woman." I
you
really
like
do
that?
like that. Oh, I love it, and I love the harmonizing on again and again and again. I dig it, and I like the playing on this one too. Yeah, I like just about everything of
This
this
is the
song.
video where they're all in the fields, right?
Yeah,
They're
they're
all in the fields.
so if you have any allergies to flowers, that's probably wouldn't be a good idea.
Yeah. Paul Andrews says after the ball is basically Amazing Grace. Interesting.
Hmm.
All right, so that was so again and again and again was your number 6.
6. Yeah,
Okay.
so we're top 5, baby.
Now we're in the top 5. We're rounding
Yeah.
out the top 5 for Tom and Andy for Back to the
Yes.
Egg. Tom Brennan has I have We're Open Tonight at 6 also. Should that
Oh.
have opened the 79 tour rather than Got to Get You Into My Life? I don't know, but I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't know if We're Open Tonight would have opened as a show opener. Would have been done. I think
If he felt that way, he would have opened the album with this. I mean, I guess.
very true, like he did with Venus and Mars. Right.
Yeah, I think so.
Right. Good
Yeah.
point. Number 5 for me, Tom mentioned it 2 songs ago. Baby's Request. Great song. Paul doing the granny music. What can you say? Great video. I think I like the Kisses on the Bottom version even better now that version's been out.
Wow.
Yeah, nice playing on it. And again, perfect album closer, nice little relaxing
Yeah.
tune. You've heard all this kind of wild music, rockestra, So Glad to See You Here. Lots of different, old Siam Sir, and then you got a nice little album closer, 1940s pastiche that just rides you off into the sunset, and that's it. So it's a great album closer, great track. So that's why I have it at 5.
Excellent.
We got Adam on here tonight. Hi, Adam.
Hey, Adam. Good to see you, buddy. So glad to see you, actually. So 5 for me. These next 5, well, actually the 6. I mean, I just adore my top 6. I just adore. Number 5 is Winter Rose, Love Awake. I love the raspiness in his voice of Winter Rose. I love the transition into Love Awake. The playing on this one is spectacular. But I mean, it's really for me the highlight of this song is Paul's vocals on both
on both tracks.
Yeah, on both tracks on this one. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. So that was number 5. Yeah, it's around the top 5. Number 4 for me. After the Ball, A Million Miles, and solely on the strength of After the Ball.
Yeah.
Million Miles, a little tired, but After the Ball, it's Paul he's got that Call Me Back Again vocals on that one a little bit,
yeah. Very raspy.
Really very raspy, just a killer After the Ball. I mean, it's just phenomenal vocals on After the Ball. Between that and Winter Rose, Love Awake, obviously he was pulling fragments of songs like he does, linking them together. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I agree with Tom. I don't think it really worked great with After the Ball, A Million Miles, but After the Ball is so good.
Yeah.
That it warranted a top 4 ranking for me.
Mm-hmm. Cool. I think if you take the Million Miles out, I think this has single potential after the Ball, in my opinion.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah. Okay. Number 4. I mean, this is where we're gonna differ a lot. And I love To You. I absolutely love it. I love how it I love how it starts. And I love, if the same thing happened to you. I mean, I love his again, he's got a little bit of a raspy voice to it on that one is too. And I can, it could happen to you. I love when
Gosh,
he
I
does.
hate that. I
Yeah,
hate
I
that.
love it. And
Oh,
I love the Linda Denny to
yeah,
you.
that the Linda Denny parts are nice. Yeah.
It could happen to you. I mean, I dig that. I mean, I dig all of the kind of like the bass in his voice kind of comes out a little bit on that track. And oh man, really dig this one.
Okay. All right. So you had you two, you is
Yeah,
in your top five. Wow.
yeah, my number 4.
All right. Number 3 for me is the second of the medley coupling tracks,
Okay,
Winter
yeah,
Rose, Love Awake.
good
One of
track.
the one of the things I love about that is the melancholy of that song. And the contrasts. You've got Winter Rose opens up, uh, really kind of for you, very, very kind of like dark mood. You're
Yeah,
hearing all this stuff. Another great video shot at Limp Castle. They're
yes,
on the horses and
yep,
stuff.
yep, yep.
Um, Linda comes in there in the second verse, backing in with the Winter Rose,
Right,
and then pause, sunny, bright, right into Love Awake.
like
Total change,
right,
totally changes the mood. So you've got the contrast in both these pieces, which
yeah,
is not that you don't have with After the Ball, A Million Miles.
no, no.
You don't have that, but you have that with when you have the wonderful contrast with Winter Rose.
It works so perfectly. Just Winter Rose into that whole transition into Love Awake.
And
Just
there are
brilliant.
some wonderful versions out there on YouTube of Winter Rose and Love Awake in demo form. One that our friend Adrian Allen shared us about in the demo form. They're even longer. There's longer
Right,
demos of it. Seek those out if you really like Winter Rose and Love Awake, because the demo versions working in progress are just as good as the finished one.
right.
I think there's like a 5-minute version of Paul just doing Love Awake,
Mm,
Love Awake just for 5 minutes, which is just phenomenal.
right.
And it's one of the better Wings songs, period. And that's why I have it at my number 3. It's so good, and it's
Cool.
again the contrast.
Right.
It's like darkness then light. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, I agree. It's a near perfect song or track, if you will, because
yeah.
it's this connected, 2 tracks connected. But 3 for me. I just love the crunchiness of the opening. I'm a big fan of Spinning On. Big fan of Spinning On.
To you and Spinning On in his
Yes.
top 5.
Yes,
Wow, that's good
I'm a
though.
big fan I mean and then the rocker I have even later. I mean, I just love the rockers on this one. I even if doesn't matter how silly the lyrics are, but I just really dig that he's rocking on this album. And I don't care if it's because of the punk thing or because he got teased with London Town. I don't care.
You just like it.
I like rocking Paul, and I don't think he disappoints here, especially on Spinning On. I think get back to the top. I got a little love for you. I mean, I just dig it. The really cool, the really fast lyrics and the verses. I really find that really fun and cool, and again, this is the kind of Paul that I like. Just fun.
Just throwing it out there.
Exactly, throw it out there, and this works for me.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well,
Yeah.
so that you really, really like the rockers on Back to the A.
Yeah, I love the rockers on Back to the A.
All right. You like the
Yes.
rockers better than the ballads on this
I
one.
absolutely do. And I'm a ballad guy,
Yeah,
but yeah, the rockers on this are really kick ass.
absolutely. All right. So now we're getting down to the top 2. And we're going to
Yes.
see how do we have,
And I think we both had the same top two.
yeah, but how are they going to be ranked?
Right. Well, lead it off, my friend.
How are we going to have it? Look, catch up on a comment here.
Yeah.
Paul Andrew. My sister thought Paul sounded like Rod Stewart on this album. He was the raspy voice. Yeah, maybe.
A little bit, a couple songs. Absolutely.
Yeah, Tom Brennan. Steve's drumming is amazing on Spinning On.
Yes.
Yeah. Mayo says he redeems yourself a little with Spinning On. Now,
Right.
all right, so my number 2 is the hit single off the album Getting Closer. That is my number 2 track.
Right.
Yeah, so you know what my number 1 is. If you've been keeping score at home there. Yeah, again, I have a lot of people think this was like the Lost Wings hit that never was.
Yeah,
I think it got to the outskirts of the top 40, I
It's
think.
a top 40, yeah.
top 40 hit. Great video for this. Great song. Really, if you had, you had this, Good Night Tonight, Daytime, Nighttime Suffering.
Right.
So again, good track that leads off the album. Probably one of the better. You got Reception and then this, but think about it. You've got London Town, Getting Close. So let's just call Getting Close to the opener, just for argument's sake, right?
Right.
Let Him In, Venus and Mars, Band on the Run. This falls in line. Aside from Mumbo, this or Big One Bed, this really hits the line in terms of like album openers. Great song, great playing on it. What can you say? Getting Closer. I have loved this song. Good video too.
Oh yeah, fun video. Yep.
But Getting Closer is my number 2, and again a great live version from Glasgow. Adam, do I like basketball? I'm not really sure how that's relevant, but yes, a little bit.
That's funny. 2.
Okay.
So yeah, Arrow Through Me is my number 2. Dig It should have been a bigger hit than what it was.
Yeah.
This should have been easily, a top 10 hit in my opinion. I love all the synth work on this one.
Oh, the tremendous.
Paul's vocals are so smooth on this. I don't know if this is like a traditional falsetto or not, but he has got a more mellow, more mellow voice going or vocals going on in this one, and and then you got the ooze, in the background with Linda and Denny, which are really good as well. And like I said, the key here is Paul's vocals. They really shine on this track. Really shine.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's such a great song. Well, that kind of leads us into my number 1, which is the one that Tom just talked about, which is Arrow Through Me, which FD Superstar says is his number 1 as well.
Hey.
Like Paul doing a little R&B thing here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I could have gone either way too.
I could have. Getting Closer, Arrow Through Me. I do like that we had the same top 2, just a little flipped. It's just a great song. It's got such a good groove. And again, it's very unlike, it's not a traditional McCartney song to open up like that.
Right.
To be so R&B like that.
Yeah, exactly.
For the times. And it's yeah. And again, if you listen to a bootleg, you can actually hear Paul vocalize the horn part.
Oh, right.
Yeah, you can. He does it. He does it on the sessions. If you listen to a couple bootlegs, you can hear him do that.
Now, is that synth horn or is that real horn? I gotta go back and look.
I don't know if there was any horn play. I think it's just synths. I don't think he had any. I don't think he had any brass on this album.
No.
I don't think he had any. But Arrow Through Me, so smooth. It's such a typical late 70s track, all the slick production on it. It's a great.
It says the four tour players here.
Howie Casey and all those guys were all on it. So then they were on this track. They definitely were, because they were part of the live tour of '79. So,
but you listen to it, it does sound like Sith horn.
It does sound like a little synth horny. Yeah, it does. It does. Never understood why Arrow Through Me wasn't a hit. Better than With a Little Luck. Ooh, I don't disagree with that one, which I think Tom might too. But yeah, love that. Again, I love how it closes side 1. We've talked about this on Ranking the Tracks, how albums naturally have a closing to them. Baby's Request, this one. Great closer. I loved it. And its inclusion on Pure McCartney kind of validates it a little bit, I think, too.
Right.
Because it's on the CD version.
Yes.
I think.
Of Pure McCartney?
Yep.
Arrow Through Me? Yeah, and I think it's on the vinyl as well.
Oh, did it make it to the vinyl too?
Let's double check here. Arrow Through Me. Yes, is on the vinyl. Yes.
Yeah, Arrow Through Me
is 5.
Yeah. Let's see. McAvillen's, when he lived in South Florida, the local jazz station used to play Arrow Through Me a lot in the early 80s. See?
Excellent.
He's got that feel to it.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good night. Christian says, "Good night tonight, daytime, nighttime suffering" should have been on the album. Yeah, I think I can agree with that. I know what I would remove for those 2 songs. I don't know what Tom would remove, but
yeah.
But yeah,
it's interesting.
Tom Brennan has Love Awake as his number one. It's a gorgeous tune and great contrast to all the rockers on the album. Agreed,
Yeah,
Tom.
yeah. Love Awake is awesome.
Yeah. And Tom's number one, we know, is going to be
Is going to be getting closer.
Getting Closer.
Say you don't love him. I dig the salamander part. I mean, a lot of people
Don't
think
know.
he did.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that he's talking about this the amphibian, the salamander, but it's not the salamander. Meaning, I think is heat. I believe which is the actual term for it. Kind of, we have a thing in the chef world. We have this thing called the salamander. Okay, where you, let's say you got like a potatoes au gratin and you want to brown the top of it. You put in the salamander, and it's like kind of like a bake where the
Oh,
the heat, no, like a broil, I'm sorry, and the heat comes from on top, and then it just allowed to the caramelize brown the top of it, and that's what kind of like a salamander is. But yeah, I mean, it's I dig it. Getting closer again, it's a great rocker. I think it's the best rocker on the album. I think it's his best rocker since maybe Junior's Farm.
letting go.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe Junior's Farm. It's so tough when you think about best rocker and Paul's
Apparently,
this
according
rock.
to Mac comment here, Mac says it peaked at number 20 in the
Yeah,
Billboard charts.
yeah.
I thought it was lower than that.
No, no, no.
Excuse me.
Paul, every track that Paul did in the '70s, and whether it was solo or Wings, were all top 40.
And then it
All
doesn't
top
warrant
40.
any inclusion on Wingspan. Head scratcher. Mayo says salamander doesn't fit no matter what the definition.
Yeah, I mean, I know it sounds weird, just like Dustpin Lid. You know what I mean?
Although I like that one.
Yeah, but that's the
But
thing.
I'm an
Like,
I'm an Anglophile, so I get that.
right. I mean, a lot of people, a lot of these things, a lot of these British, terms.
You have to know the lingo.
Slang. Yeah,
You have to know the lingo.
slang,
So if you
yeah.
don't know the lingo, you're not going to say,
Right.
well, you could be that American. What's a dustbin lid mean? You gotta go over there and live over there a little bit and get to
Right.
use them.
Yeah.
Macafilm says he thought Cage should have been on the album. Cage.
Well, we were probably would have brought that up here after our top 10. I mean, yeah, Cage should have been on the album. I think that would have been a good addition. However, hopefully we'll get that for the archive release.
Yeah, that would be nice. Cage, didn't mean it. No, said he didn't mean it. Great, simple little song. Joe says Dustbin Lid means little kid. Okay, that's news to me. I don't think so. Not to my British friends. But yeah, that 14 tracks. That's back to the egg for us. I mean, Daytime, Nighttime Suffering, Cage. Lawrence Juber recorded a track Maisie during this time.
Yeah.
But I mean, definitely, listen, would the album had done better with Goodnight Tonight on it? I think it would have, but it didn't. And, Cage instead of To You, says FT Superstar. Yes. Well, not for Tom, because he has To You as his number 4. So
yeah, exactly. But getting back to it does make sense because the Dustpin Lid does rhyme with kid. I'm sure he could have
maybe
worked it in a little bit, but I think that's what gives that song a little bit of charm. And once we get the Pipes of Peace, we can talk about that more. When we get there.
Macafilm said, "Did you hear Denny's vocals? Can you hear Denny's vocals on Getting Closer?" Yeah, I think you can. There's actually a version of Denny doing Getting Closer from these sessions, which you can find out online. You hear Denny just doing it too. But I think you can hear Denny pretty well in the vocals, backing vocals on Getting Closer. Mayo. But I mean, say you don't love him, My Salamander sounds like the amphibian.
Yeah,
more than the hate thing.
Right. I get it. I get it. But I mean, if you live in the UK, I'm sure it makes perfect sense.
I'm sure. Listen, I know it does. Susan hopes Cage shows on the archive. I think it does.
Absolutely, it better be there.
That's going to be a whopper of a box. So get your credit, get your cards out. Get your cards out, Mac fans. Get your cards out.
I mean, so let's talk about what we could expect to see on an archive release. So I mean, you would definitely get the Back to the Egg TV special on there.
TV special will be on there, of course. All the 8 videos for sure.
Right? Yeah, you would hope some live stuff, unless they do a separate segment like they did with the 71 to 73. that big box.
Well, they really need to make the Glasgow show from December of '79, which would be 2 discs
Right.
available on here. And if you wait for argument's sake, you want to throw Campuchia on here too,
Yeah.
because those were the last live Wings shows ever.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So they really kind of need to be represented on here as well. I mean, the last flight is. A lot of people are chiming in on comments. It's I think it'll be bundled in. Probably is an exclusive thing. If you buy the box, you'll get the live thing.
But you just get Paul's segment of Campuchia. You probably won't get the whole.
Yeah, no, you won't get the whole camp. Yeah, you'll get the Wings set list.
Yeah, the Wings set list, correct.
You'll get the Rockestra. You'll get all the official videos. The Rockestra video. Joe says maybe a Rockestra documentary.
Yes, you probably would expect to see that as well.
Maybe some. I mean, obviously, listen, Paul is known to throw us some demo. Again, go back to go Google search the piano tape from 1974. There's some Back to the Egg demos on that. Million Miles, Getting Closer. Which maybe they get cleaned up and maybe they get thrown on here too. So wealth of stuff available on here. The potential for this box set.
Yeah, and then you got Good Night Tonight, and obviously daytime, nighttime suffering. You would expect to see that.
Yeah, and you've got a couple different versions of Good Night Tonight. You've got like a single edit. You've got the long 7-minute version. Right. So there's multiple versions of that as well.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Wonderful Christmas Time is on 2, I believe.
Yes, it's on 2.
Which
It's all, which doesn't make sense.
No, it does make sense because McCartney did that during.
He did it during those sessions, right?
Right. Even though the video has the whole band in it, it is just McCartney on there.
Right, because he did it basically in the summer of '79 when he did the rest of McCartney too. Right. So yeah, loads of content here. The kind of crown jewel, which would be great, is if somebody could find a full video concert of that '79 tour. There are snippets out there on YouTube. You can see them doing Good Night Tonight, I believe, at the Royal Court Theatre in Liverpool, playing it there. If somebody has like a live video of that '79, one of those '79 shows, man, that would be like another holy grail uncovered. I don't think it exists, but there is some '79 footage. Campuchia, obviously, you can see. They do every night. There is footage of the '79 Wings in video, but to get a whole set doing all that stuff, Joe, answer Adam, please. Oh, Tom and Ann, do you have Looking for Changes of Paul on the Ed Sullivan Show on CD? I do.
No.
The 92 show he's talking about.
92 show. No, I don't have it.
Yeah, I have it. Are there any rehearsals or sound check songs not on the '79 tour? I don't know. We'd have to consult 8 Arms for that.
Yeah, we have to dig out this.
Let's take a look at Chip. And, spare us a second. We'll pull out Chip here and we'll see. I don't think anything else was done for that show, but we'll check. December of '79. The tour went from December 2nd to the 29th. I don't think so. Got to Get You Into My Life, Getting Closer every night, again and again. I've had enough. No Words, Cook of the House. There you go, Tom.
Yeah.
Old Time, Sir. Maybe I'm Amazed. Fool on the Hill, Let It Be, Hot as Sun. Spin It On, 20 Flight Rock, Go Now, Arrow Through Me, Wonderful Christmas Time. Coming up, Good Night Tonight, Yesterday, Mull of Kintyre, and Band on the Run. So I don't think there was any other stuff out there. Macafilm said I believe Lawrence said that one of the shows was shot on video. Ooh, that would be great. Joe says Chip book show-offs.
Book show-offs. He's just jealous because he doesn't have a copy.
Well, I bought the book in 2000, Joe. I don't know what to tell you, babe. You should have bought it then. Just kidding, Joe. We love you. Adam, it's in the other room. I can't grab it. I can't grab it right now, but I have it. It's in there. It's in there. Yeah. But 8 Arms.
Pretty good set list for that '79 tour.
Great set list.
Yeah.
Great list. And he had the horns back. Opens up. Absolutely. And then he played Let It Be for the first time in '79. He played Got to Get You Into My Life for the first time.
Yeah. Fool on the Hill.
Fool on the Hill. Long and Winding. No Long and Winding Road.
Yeah.
Fool on the Hill. So you had a couple of Beatles songs getting their first airing also in '79. So very historic in lots of ways. That very short tour of the UK.
Seems like a shorter set list though.
It
From
is a
the
shorter set list.
yeah,
Yeah. No Jet. Interesting.
yeah,
No Jet in
exactly.
there. No
Yeah.
Jet. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
I hope Glasgow. Some, yeah. Campuchia was shot on video, but yeah, YouTube it. There's some stuff out there.
Mm.
Good night, Joe. He's signing off. Those are our
All right.
tracks. Joe, thanks for
Yeah,
tuning
Joe.
in.
Yeah, we
But yeah,
appreciate you.
yeah, we've been on for about an hour now. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Cool.
back to the egg, folks.
That's back to the egg. So next week when we do this, we're gonna take all the non-album A sides and B sides, and we're gonna rank those. So we were looking at tracks like Another Day, Oh Woman, Oh Why, Daytime, Nighttime Suffering, Junior's Farm, Sally G, all those tracks that aren't on an album proper. We're going to be ranking them. I Lie Around, The Mess, Live and Let Die, Hi Hi Hi, Sea Moon, all that stuff. We're going to be ranking. So it's going to be, I believe, about 22 tracks. I think actually. So it's going to be
That's gonna
probably the
be
longest. Yeah, it'll be the longer one that we will probably the longest one we'll ever do
right because
on
it's
this
we're doing
regular.
all the other tracks. Right, right.
Yeah, because he gave us so many songs that weren't on albums during the
Yeah.
70s.
Oh, we
So
got a really cool comment here from
yeah,
Paul. Paul says he was at the Wings concert for Campuchia in '79. The
right.
TV broadcast made it look like it was one concert featuring Wings, Queen, and the Who, etc. Awesome, awesome.
Ah, very cool.
You got to see
Yes.
that. Well, I had friends that went to the Royal Court show in '79 in
Is that
Liverpool.
Paul Dean?
No,
Oh,
it might be Paul Andrew. Well, it says Paul Andrew, but I
okay.
know Paul Dean and I have several friends from Liverpool.
Yeah.
A shout out to Jeff
Right.
Stalford. I know he's not watching, but
Right.
Paul, if you're watching, give a shout out to my friend Jeff for me, will you? And have one at the pub next time the pub opens up. Yeah.
Very good. Very
But
good.
I don't know if it's Paul, but if it is,
Oh,
if it's not, but thank you for a great comment.
yeah.
He says, oh, and somebody else says, don't forget Zoo Gang.
Yes. Well, Zoo Gang's on that list. Yes, it's
Yeah.
absolutely. It was the B side for Band on the Run. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Shout out, please. The shout out to you, Adam. There you go.
Adam, shout out.
Walking in the park with Eloise. Yes or no?
No.
No.
No. No. Country Hams.
Country Ham, not Bill to McCartney, even though it is.
Correct. Correct.
So, and stay tuned for Saturday's episode where Tom and I
Right.
are going to be talking about
Yes.
Paul McCartney in the Red Square.
Yes.
A review of the film.
Right. It
And
was more like a revisit. Yeah.
revisit our thoughts on it, how
Yeah.
McCartney documentaries and concerts have been made. That's going to be coming this Saturday.
Correct. Very
So.
good. Excellent. So once again, if you guys are still here, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to this channel. Click on the bell so you can see when we go live and post new episodes. We really appreciate you guys being here. You can email us at twolegspodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Two Legs Podcast. Again, you guys have been great. We really love you guys coming with us for this journey every week, and we'll seeing you live again next Wednesday.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.